Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Welcome back, welcome back. So with that being said, if you are new to the series that we're doing here on Dexscreener, thank you so much for joining us for this series. Again, as I remind anybody that's new to this series, please go back and check out day one of the series. That'll help you to kind of get acclimated and familiar with what's going on and with the flow of how we're going to be presenting the information, really the introductions, getting those out the way. So if you are somebody that's returning to the series, we appreciate you just kind of sticking with us throughout the whole series. That's certainly very appreciative as we continue to just kind of explore new tokens as early as possible using the Dexscreener platform. So with that being said, today is the 23rd of December. So I think we're heading into having done well over 13 days of this series, so again, every day is a new journey as we explore different tokens, on the blockchain that we can discover through Dexscreener. So as you can see, as always, what our flow is going to be today, we're going to go ahead and do some review. As you can see, we got some tabs open. Then we're going to go ahead and check out the filters, and we're going to move into discovery mode at that point. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's check out Froski here. This is one that we've been talking about, so I set alerts, or an alert on this one yesterday, at 338K, or I don't think it was at 338K, but I don't think we changed, the posted market cap. But either way, we're still looking at this one yesterday. And if I'm wrong about that, again, I'm not really sure since I've done so many videos on this stuff. But wanted it to go ahead and trigger, at 290K. This obviously has been disabled because this token did, make some movement. So obviously right now at this point, it's under 290K. It's at 174. So we can see, and I think when I was talking about this yesterday, ultimately, we had a higher candle because this one touched over 400 or 440K, I believe, on the market cap. So it's done some retracement, which I thought it was going to, and then obviously it came back up, and there's been more retracement, so still keeping an eye on this one. I don't necessarily like that we're looking at minus 42 here on the 6-hour and minus 49 on the 24-hour. So again, this one's one we're just going to continue to keep an eye on. The alerts, we're going to adjust the alert again. Remember, this is a fluid process as far as adjusting the alerts. So we're going to go ahead and change the posted market cap. We're going to move that one to 174 as it's posted right now. And then we're going to go ahead and change this one to, if it goes under, I'm going to change it to 100K. If it goes under 100K, I think this one might be done. So we'll just keep it there. Not really interested, in setting an up alert at this point, at least for me personally. I think, I'm more interested to see, watch the retracement levels. And if it was something, where if I wanted to go ahead and take an entry, I think under 100K, would, help me to understand, whether it's just too far gone. Obviously I'm not just going to be looking at the chart and looking at the market cap. I'm going to be also taking a look, in the community to see what's going on. If it's just a bunch of panic selling, what the mood and sentiment is in the Telegram, and to see if they've got any plans to go ahead and revive. This, lately, as far as the market's concerned, it hasn't been that great. There's been a lot of red, lately. So again, it could just be a byproduct of that. Obviously when the market sentiment changes, the altcoins are definitely affected in that respect, but it's not across the board. Obviously there are outliers. There are tokens that still do well and hold up regardless of what the market is doing overall. And there are tokens, that are obviously affected by that, and they continue to go ahead and go down. So again, I'm really just in watch mode as far as this particular token is concerned. So we're going to leave this one alone. But you can see, you got buys and you still have sells, so it could head back up, but we're just going to have to continue to keep an eye on it. So that's just kind of how I feel at this point, as far as this particular token is concerned. So looking at this one, this is Purple Doge. Obviously we've been taking a look at this one, for several days now. And this one continues, to show some resistance, in terms of, just heading downward. It's still, we can still see, if we zoom in, here on the chart, we can still see that we've got some buy pressure. We still got buys coming in, even though we have the sells. It looks like, buys are holding, this is kind of like a holding pattern right now. We're just kind of going sideways. So 50-50, this one heads up or goes down. We just simply don't know. We can't predict the future as far as that's concerned. So again, this one, is one I continue to watch. Now, as far as the alerts are concerned, both of these are active. Alert me when the market cap goes over 95K and alert me when it goes under 60K. Now, as far as these alerts, the over and the under, I think the overs and the unders, make sense, as far as how they're currently situated or constituted. So I'm going to leave this one alone, but I do like, what the chart looks like right now, in spite of whatever the market's been doing over the last, several days. This one continues to look like there's still potential here for this to maybe, head back up into these areas. I don't know if it can make it back to an all-time high or previous all-time high, because like I said, once you get a couple of runs on these charts, it's hard to keep repeating that kind of pattern behavior on a chart. So, but again, it's not that it can't be done. It really comes down to what the community wants to do, how the community feels about the token, what the team is willing to go ahead and invest into the token as well, and community participation. So there's a lot of different elements that are still needed to keep this going, but like I said, it's not that it can't get back to previous all-time highs. It's just going to be that it's going to be a challenge to do it. So we're going to leave this one alone. And this one is one that we looked at yesterday, I think. The $1 trillion coin. So we can see the chart looks, pretty decent. We did set some alerts on this one after taking a look at it. This was one we discovered, through Dexscreener, obviously. So we took a look at the community, took a look at the chart, and then decided to go ahead and set some alerts, So this one, we set it at 62K. That was the posted market cap right here. And then obviously it's disabled, because it triggered when this one went over 80K. Remember, as I say all the time, these alerts, they're basically indicators. We want to figure out, once it's triggered, what's the token doing at that point, as far as going up, if it's headed in that direction, or going down if it's headed in that direction. We just want to see, what it's doing, and then make an educated, determination in terms of how we want to proceed, from there. So since this one triggered and it's sitting at 82, let's take a look at the chart again. Obviously, these buy candles, when they're like this, or like this, or like this, or like this, these candles typically don't keep going up like that. There's going to be, a balance of the buy and the sells as well. So are we going to see more sell pressure, as far as it's concerned? I guess my thought process would be that if it sits too idle, if the chart is idle for too long, yeah, I would anticipate sells instead of buys. But it's not like, you're not going to get any buys. I mean, you may still get buys, but I think that if charts sit too long, typically in crypto, you're typically going to go ahead and see, more sells than buys. So you want to see more activity on a chart, for that pattern of buys to continue, unless there's just true conviction, in regards to the token. So with that being said, I think, and we see here, even in this area, we got a minus, on the 5 minute, minus on the 1 hour, but they're not big. I mean, it's nothing big. So let's see here, looking at the alerts here, triggers when it goes over 80. Let's see. We're going to set an under on this one. Okay, let's go to market cap and under, and our posted market cap is going to be 82. Oops. So there we go. All right. And this one, let's set it for 90K. Okay. So there we go. And then on the under, oops, what in the world? Oh, you know what? Okay. I set it for an under to go under 90K. Obviously that's wrong. That's the reason why it triggered right away. So for the under, we don't want to set it for 90K. For the under here, let's go ahead and set this, for 70K. We'll do that as our indicator. So that kind of caught me off guard for a minute there. Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to go back out because I want to take a look here. So I've got 3 of these. Active, goes under. We're gonna delete this one, okay, and then goes over. All right, oops, I didn't set a note for this one. Let's set the note here. Okay, making mistakes live, guys. My fault. And what are we doing there? All right, so we're adjusting this one. So, and it's at 82K. All right, this is just the joys of recording live, So, but anyway, so we've got an active alert now when the market cap goes under 70K, and then for the over, we're going to set the over at 90K. That's what I meant to do. Good grief. All right, so there we go. We also need to adjust the note because we're no longer looking at it at 62K. This is 82K. Okay, all right. I think we're good to go on this one. So now we've got a market cap when it goes over 90K. Posted market cap's at 82. Good. So we're going to close this one out as well. This is Santa Pepe. We looked at this one, several days ago, and just continue to keep it, on the watch list. And then this one recently triggered, so I was wondering what's going on. So we went in and let's take a look at the alerts real quick. So this one was created 4 days ago. Okay. And it's saying that it was last triggered 4 days ago. However, I went ahead and I went into my recently triggered, and so this was, you know what, no, I would agree. This one did trigger a while ago. I just hadn't realized it because I didn't go further down in my alerts. So, and when I saw it today, I was like, oh, we got to talk about this one. So, yeah, so this is accurate, you know, created 4 days ago. It did trigger 4 days ago. So, but either way, when we look at the chart here, we can see that, I mean, obviously today's the 23rd, and we can see this buy candle, and this buy candle so far seems to be holding, which is encouraging. So obviously at some point, you know, it did, you know, hit that 80K, you know, mark, which looks like it was right here. It retraced, still hit it again, you know, over here, retraced, and then retraced all the way down to essentially in the 50K area, and it jumped back up. So what does this tell me? This tells me that there is still interest in this token. Obviously, it's still relevant, you know, since Christmas is 2 days away, you know, at the time of doing the video. So again, this is an indicator for me. Do I think that this has the potential to still continue to head back up? Maybe. I mean, if we're saying that it was down in the 50K area and it still had this kind of buy candle, it didn't dump right away. I think there's still positive sentiment here. And this is the reason why, obviously, I sent this alert, you know, several days ago, because I was like, you know what, hey, looking at what was going on in the Telegram and looking at the fact that, you know, Christmas is still coming, you know, I thought that maybe there was a possibility that this one could actually still continue to do something. Now, if you were somebody that set the same alert and you were watching and you saw this and maybe you decided to go ahead and get in, I mean, we're talking, you know, you're already up, you know, right? So anybody that got in this 50K area, you know, sitting around 80K at this point, you know, and actually, no, it did. I mean, it hit over 80K at this, you know, right here. But right now, we still kind of settled into that 78K mark, you know, again. So that's, you know, that's still gains, right? And it has the potential to possibly do more, not guaranteeing that it will. But again, I am very encouraged to see that at this bottom level where it looked like it was just tanking, that it still came back up here. And this is the third time. So 1, 2, 3, third time it has touched over 80K since, what was this day? This was the 14th, right? So it looks like it's trying to break out of this 80K area. And I think that if it does break out of the 80K area, I think it's got potential to go ahead and even hit 100K. So this one's one we're going to continue to watch. Okay, so when it goes over 80K, so yeah, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move this one up a little bit more. Let's move it to 90K. All right, and this one is at 78. So here we go. So yeah, I'm not interested in setting an under alert. You know, for this one, it's more about, you know, if this continues to move forward, you know, what does that mean for us? And again, like I mentioned before, if it's me, you know, maybe what I go ahead and do is throw in a few bucks. And again, if I see that the indicator, that the alert triggers, that may lead me to go ahead and say, okay, I think I'm going to jump in with a little bit more. But again, I'm speaking as if it was me. So obviously you guys can do whatever you want, but that's just me sharing my thought process here, you know, with you in terms of what I'm seeing, you know, on the Santa Pepe token. So again, remember, especially if you're new, you know, I don't leave like, you know, all the contract addresses in the description, you know, in any of these videos, but what you can do so that you can follow along with whatever token I'm looking at or talking about on the video is you can certainly go ahead and you can see how they have this little, you know, paper symbol right here. You can copy this, copy token address. And then you can, you know, so we copy the token address. And I didn't even mention that before in any other videos. I just basically said, you know, just go ahead and, you know, copy the name. But for me, and the reason why I'm mentioning copying the name is because obviously for you, you're not just going to go ahead and, you know, take the token address, which is right here, and then write that down. That doesn't make any sense. So, but what you can do is you can see the name of the token here, Santa Pepe. You can go into the search bar. And here we can also see, since I copied the token address, there you go. There's the token address. It brings up, you know, the token, right? So we're going to clear that. But we can also just go ahead and type it in, Santa Pepe. Okay. And then what you would do from here is you just want to match up the market cap, you know, so market cap 78K and none of these other ones are 70K. So this is the one that we're talking about. So you click on that, takes you right back here. Okay. So, and for any of you guys that are new, I do sometimes talk fast, you know, so if I'm talking fast for you and it's hard to keep up, just go ahead and pause the video, go back, you know, review whatever I've talked about in the video, just to continue to follow along, you know, so that you understand everything that I'm trying to communicate to you. So with that being said, all right, we're going to go out of there, and that is actually going to go ahead and do it in terms of the review portion of what we got going on here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the filters section, and typically that is the flow, you know, of how I do the videos. Go ahead and open up some tabs. We're going to do some review, and then we're going to move into the second segment of the the videos. And I get it. Some people probably just go ahead and skip to, what we talk about in terms of discovery, but it's always helpful to go back and see what's going on, in the review section, because you never know what I'm going to go ahead and talk about in the review section. It could be stuff that we've talked about that we've discovered, in terms of tokens, before today, before that day's video. And I have been known to go ahead and set alerts and review stuff that I don't talk about on the videos, but I show you, stuff that I'm doing outside of the videos, as well in terms of my own discovery. So that's why paying attention to the review does make sense whenever you're looking at the videos, just as much as paying attention to what's going on in terms of the discovery portion, of the videos as well. So let's see here. So here we got the main page. I talked about this, some days ago, that I don't always think I'm going to go ahead and cover the main page, but there'll be days, where I'll go and I'll talk about the main page. And so here we go on the main page. I've already gone ahead and touched the 24-hour just to see, who's got the largest gains. These are going to be a mix of newer tokens, and older tokens, but you're going to see a lot of fresh tokens, on this page that have made some pretty decent gains. Now, this is also unfiltered, which means you've got no filters in terms of, the 24-hour gain. We're going to see the plus, we're going to see the minuses. You got all the chains, that you're going to see. You're going to see Solana, you're going to see Ethereum, you're going to see Base, you're going to see this the SUI chain. You're going to see all the different chains, with the unfiltered version, of the main page here on Dexscreener. So, but we can certainly go ahead and open some up just to go ahead and see like what's going on here on the main page. We'll go ahead and definitely look at some, some Christmas themes, one for sure, if we come across them. So we'll just kind of go down through the page. Chill Musk, whatever that is. Let's see here. Let's see. What else? We got Snowy Inu here. That's kind of interesting. We got Xmas here. That's interesting too. So yeah. So we got, we got some Christmas, type tokens that we can go ahead and take a look at and see what's going on here. And so obviously this one right away, obviously this looks like it was a rug, so plus we also don't see any socials here. And again, I kind of always want to remind you guys that whenever we look at newer tokens typically, going to run into a lot more scams. That's just inevitable, which is why I try to go ahead and stay clear of like fresh new pairs. Just not a fan of that, just because I want to mitigate, the chance that I'm going to run into rugs. This one, so much sell pressure is just ridiculous, so we'll go ahead and we'll go out to the 5 minute. You can see a heavy sell retracement, sell candle right there, which is just kind of crazy, but they still had some buy pressure coming back to that chart. And this is sitting at 3.5 million on their market cap. And that's even at the bottom level. So I don't really even know what let's see here. If we look here, you can see the starting market cap on this one, is over 3 million. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. This one, in terms of the chart, didn't look terrible. So we can see, some sell pressure, a lot of sell pressure right here, and they actually managed to recover from that. And typically when I look at these newer ones, I don't always go ahead and check into the telegrams, but just to kind of just show you that when you look at that main page on Dexscreener, you can see, the unfiltered view of what's going on there. If you want to go ahead and take a look at any tokens on that page, just like we're doing now. So, and we can see here, on this Xmas token, obviously this is Elon, themed, with Christmas. Okay. So this is the third one of these I've seen, none of these really seem to be doing that well. So, but yeah, either way, you can see here, they had a pretty decent rise, a run up here, retracement, and then another rise, back to previous all-time high. And this one just kind of looks like it's heading a downward spiral where it's basically going to be done. We can see the minuses here on this informational, section here, -10, -20 on the 1 hour, and then -60 on the 6 hour. So yeah, to me, I'd say this was probably about done. So yeah, I mean, that's what you got going on, here, with the main page. You can see a number of different tokens. You can see, the different chains, so. But we can see a lot of this right here at the top, looks like a lot of Solana and Base tokens, and this one's, obviously still highlighting Ethereum as well, because Base is basically, an ERC protocol. So, but with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go straight into our filters. I'm going to pause real quick for a drink of water. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to open up. Let's take a look at ETH today. Let's see what we can find. All right, and we're going to Uniswap. So there we go. And liquidity, as always, don't ever touch it. So we're going to start at 50K. We're going to go to 500K, actually. Let's go farther out since we're just working with one chain. Pair age, we're going to look at, let's go at least 18 hours. We're going to go to 40 hours. Let's do that. Okay, and 24-hour change, we'll do 10%. We'll apply. So here we go. We don't really get a lot here, so a lot of these are going to be scams. So these right here, and this isn't even at 18 hours. Any of the ones with the question marks, like I've mentioned before, typically going to be scams, so we'll open them up just to go ahead and verify that fact. So you can see no socials, this one, no socials, here, no socials, here, no socials. And even if we look at the charts, guaranteed, these aren't going to be tokens we're going to want to look at. Now, I open these up to, again, especially if you're new, you wouldn't have seen any of the other videos where I talk about this, but if you see those that have no picture, that question mark, in the thumbnail, essentially looks like a thumbnail, these are likely to be scams, so you can even look at the buy transactions. These buy transactions, this is not normal to see so many big, buy transactions in a chart pattern like this. That's not normal, so again, same thing, same, basically what we just saw in the last, tab. This one obviously was a rug, and this one right here, buy transactions, that's not normal. So keep in mind, we typically avoid any of these, not typically, what we usually do, so, and if I ever open them up, it's just to go ahead and from an educational standpoint, show you that, there's a reason why you don't ever want to touch these kind of tokens. Now the other ones here, and we got 2 of these. I don't necessarily care for the ones where we see duplicates. I just don't, so I think we pointed that out. I think there was a day that we did a video, and there was a land wolf, and we looked at both of those. And basically there were 2 tokens, associated with the same telegram. So, when we see the duplicates, we're going to avoid those. Now, if you want to go and take a look at them, on your own, that's up to you, but I'm going to avoid them, as we go and we do the videos. So with that being said, we're going to go to the 1 hour here. Oh, and this is $1 trillion coin. So we already took a look at this one, so yeah, that's positive that we went ahead and found that again in our discovery mode. All right, so here we've got Ethereum. I think that's what it is. We got the socials here. So we see some buys, sells. It looks pretty balanced, in a stair kind of pattern. You guys know how I feel about that. I'd rather see more retracement if I'm going to be looking at an entry, in a chart where we see this. Now, obviously, if you're somebody that bought down in these levels, you're loving this because obviously it's a stair pattern, and that means you're continuing to see buys, which are obviously increasing the value of your bag, especially if you got in at these levels. Now, for somebody that's new coming into this, you're sitting at 366K on the market cap. Yeah, of course, you want to see more retracement because you want to be able, excuse me, you want to be able to get in, excuse me, at this token, at a lower level, so. What we'll do, we'll definitely go ahead and take a look at the telegram on this one, and then we'll verify if we want to actually set some alerts, on this one too. So here we go. All right, so we got 580 members, sitting in here. All right, so they are trending, and they are doing raids. So we got some pretty decent activity, on the raiding. They're looking for 40. They've already got 30. That means you got an engaged community. And again, you got trending going on, so which means they've already invested into this particular token, which means that they are, they're interested in the growth and the exposure, and growing awareness, of this token. That's the team going ahead and saying, hey, we are invested, in this token. So I do like to see that, and I see that as a positive sentiment, as far as this token is concerned. Now, taking a look at the pinned messages, so pinned messages looks like they've got, roughly about 8 or 9 of them in here. So there's an update, which is good. So I mean, I am seeing positive things here that I do like about this particular token. So that definitely tells me what we're going to do is we're going to set some alerts. So here we go. Right now we got a minus on the 1 hour, minus on the 6 hour. And let's see here. And we're 366. Okay, so we're going to go straight to market cap. Goes under because I'm interested in retracement on this one, at least for me personally I am. Okay, so let's look at 330K. Now, here's the thing. I've done some retracement, some deviations, from posted market caps that have been almost 100K, so it just depends. But what I'm seeing on this one, you got the rating and you got the, trending going on, which means, they're actively, really trying to work, to get some more exposure on this. I don't know that it would head back down another 60K unless trending falls off and for some reason nothing, people just rating, are just really not engaging, with the raids. So we're going to set it at 330. It's not to say that it can't go under 330, but I'm going to go ahead and set it at 330, for now. All right, so what we say 366K, that's what we're going to put in our note as far as the posted market cap is concerned. So we set that alert. Not interested in setting an up alert on this one, just because, again, for me, when I see a chart pattern like this, I'm looking for further retracement, and obviously if it dips, let's say we get to a 330, let's say that we get to a 300, K, what I would anticipate is anybody that's, here in these lower levels, they're probably going to go ahead and start to sell too, because they're concerned about the value of the banks just consistently going down, right? So again, if it touches 330, let's say if it goes down even more than that, it could actually see the 200 levels, 280s maybe, just because, again, I think once you start to see some larger sell candles, that's going to concern people that got in at these levels, and they're going to likely go ahead and start selling some of their tokens, if not all of them. Okay, so that's just my thought process, as far as that's concerned. Now, on the filters, because again, we were looking at 50,000 to 500K. We only really were able to look at one token out of all the tokens that were produced, which was roughly around 8 tokens. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at Solana now. Okay, and we're going to look at the same range. So we're going to save that, and then we're going to go to Radium here. Okay, and we're going to keep the same pair age, okay, because I really didn't want to go further out, and I certainly didn't want to make this 500 to a million. You don't want to do that. Try to go ahead and keep you guys, in at these lower market caps, and I think a lot of opportunities can be found, anywhere in this range. Now you can go further out if you want to. I've mentioned before, it's going to produce, different results for you, as you continue to adjust the values, for each of these, areas that we're putting in values for. So, all right, but we're now going to go ahead and look at Solana, and see what we can produce there. Now here we get about a lot more tokens, we still got some scams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 7 out of 23. What do we got? 16, so 16 other tokens that we can go ahead and look at, so, all right, and we got the 24-hour ticked here, so we're going to, we always start at the top. So let's look at the bottom now. Frontman, okay, what do we got here? I'm not interested in that. Pip the mouse, okay. Nerds dig crypto, all right, stupid coin, okay, and so we went up to 333. Okay, so let's take a look real quick. And all right, what are we on? We're on the 1 hour, so I probably should have gone ahead and changed this, but we'll see what the 1 hour does. Okay, so here we go. Not really crazy about this pattern at all. Okay, and we don't have socials, so yeah, that one right away. That's a no for me. Okay, we get socials here. This one's okay. This one's okay. All right, so that's Pip, I believe. All right, nerds love crypto. Or dig crypto. We got a lot of minuses here. Not interested in this one. Looks like too much retracement for me to be interested in taking a look at the Telegram. This one, no Telegram. Okay, this one, get a Telegram. This one looks like what we saw in a couple of other tokens on the tabs up here. A lot of retracement on this one. 26%, 14%, not really interested in that. Okay, and then this one, we don't get any socials. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and skip that one too. All right, so we're going to go back here and let's see what else we got. Josie, we're not interested in that one. If you want to check that one out, that's the name of it, obviously. Okay, let's see here. Fork as well, and then the Sniffler. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to Josie. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, so this one looks, okay. Looks like we got an uptrend forming on that one. Okay, so here, this one, not really sure. I'm on the fence as far as this one's concerned, really. Actually, what we're gonna do? Let's move this one out to the 5 minutes, see if we can see more of what's going on here. Okay, so small uptrend. Okay, so you can see the benefit, because I was at the 1 hour here. Harder to tell what's going on with the token, right? And then we go out to the 5 minute here, and we can see more of what's actually going on. So what changed my mind here as far as taking a closer look at this one is we can see a small uptrend forming. So right in here, okay? So this alone is what would lead me to want to check this one out a little bit further. All right, so here, don't really care for this steer pattern, going on with this one. I really don't care for this chart pattern. And personally, I think I'll leave this one up, for you guys to go, as far, just understand it's called 230 or Thanos, actually, sorry. It's called Thanos. So if somebody wants to check this one out after the video, you can certainly go ahead and do that, but I'm not looking into that one. All right, and Fork here, this one, the pattern is just continuing to retrace. You can see minuses across the board, 3 on the 5 minute, 1% on the 1 hours, and 18% on the 6 hour. I think this one may continue to go down, even though I do like, what's going on here in terms of the art here. But again, you got the name fork, so you can check that one out, and just make sure that if you search it here in Dexscreener, just match it up with the market cap. All right, and then we got the sniffler here. This one looks interesting. Okay, even though I don't really care for this, huge candle right here. As far as looking for an entry, what I would do again, I'd set an alert. Depending on everything checking out in the Telegram, I'd set an alert. Probably for the retracement. So with that being said, we've got 5 to go ahead and take a look at. This one we're actually going to go ahead and knock off because there's just so much retracement here. In terms of not so much retracement, but in terms of what I'm looking at in terms of chart pattern. Big sell candle here. We got some buys, but again, the sells, buys, buy, buy, another buy here, just eaten up by the sells. So I think you're going to continue to see that pattern in terms of sells, on this one. So not interested in checking this one out either. Okay, and this one I actually took a look on my own yesterday. I'm curious that the chart is still kind of holding right here. I didn't take a look at the Telegram, so I'll say that, in that open disclaimer. But yeah, this is essentially what the chart looked like yesterday. So I don't really know what's going on with this one. I have to go ahead and take a look in the Telegram to see what exactly is taking place there. But the rest of these, I think, are certainly ones to potentially look at. So we'll take a look. Let's start here, and let's look at Kebab Swap. We're going to go ahead and take a look in their Telegram, see what they got going on. Okay, so when's the last buy on this one? Got a feeling probably hasn't been in a while. And if it hasn't been in a while, so this is 8:36 a.m. We're at 9:43. So yeah, this is one. It's obviously going to be a no. For me, if you're new, if there hasn't been a buy in a 10-minute window, I'm not interested in it. So that's just my own personal, one of my own personal kind of, criteria that I look at in terms of, when I evaluate a token. If I'm not really seeing any buy activity, what's the point, for me personally? So. Okay, and we're going to take a look at PIP here. So we're going to go into the Telegram. Okay, so we got a portal, great. And we're going to click start here. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the link. Okay, so we got 630 members here. Okay, so what's going on? Last buy was going to be at 9:32. It's 9:44. So that's just inside my 10-minute window. Okay, so it's got PIP right there. All right, so let's see what they got going on here in the pin messages. Okay, so they're number 18 on Dexscreener. Okay, they're trending on Phantom. When you bought 700 boosts for 7,000. Okay, we don't like that word. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Anything else going on? Okay. I mean, I don't really see any rating going on, but they do, they do have a buy here in the last, 10 minutes. Okay. Or actually, no, not in the last 10 minutes. It's 9:32 here. My clock says 9:45. So actually, for this one, this is outside my window. Now, if somebody else wants to go ahead and take a look at this, they certainly can, but for me personally, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one alone. So we're going to go ahead and leave that one. Now, let's see. I try to go ahead and, avoid any kind of material content, in any of these channels. You just never know when you come across the channels, what you may see or what you may come across in terms of, the words that are there. So, but yeah, you just understand that I try my best to go ahead and avoid that kind of stuff, so, but with this one, obviously nothing was said, but it was still seen on the screen, but we'll leave it for now. It won't be something I'll go and I'll cut out, as far as this particular token was concerned, but we are not going to go ahead and set any alerts, for this PIP token, so just be aware of that. So we're going to look at Josie right here. And so let's take a look at their chart patterns concerned. I will go ahead and set an alert, on this one. So, and you guys will find, that there'll be, some of these videos, I may go ahead and cut out a little bit of material just because we may come across something, in the Telegram that, is not appropriate, for the upload, on YouTube. So yeah, we saw that, in PIP, in one word that was there. However, I think I'm going to leave that particular, one alone. But for this one, because of what I just viewed in the Telegram, you will notice that there was a cut out in terms of this particular token. But like I said, we'll go ahead and we will keep what I said as far as setting an alert. So right now we're at 226 as far as, or actually 225. You can see that right here, 225. We're going to keep that as far as the posted market cap. So here we go, 225. Okay. And We're going to set this one. We actually want to set an under alert because it's still going up. So let's set the under alert. It's not going to deviate too far from the posted market cap. So we're going to set that at 200. So there we go, setting that alert. Now, again, I'm not setting one to go over, just setting one to go under because I'm more interested in taking an entry, possibly taking an entry if it's me, on this one at a lower market cap than where it's sitting here closer to the top of the candle, on this upward pattern. Okay, so we're going to go and close this one out. And then for this one, all right, so again, where I took interest was the fact that we saw an uptrend starting to form. Now we're seeing retracement. I still think I'm going to take a look at the Telegram just to see what's going on here. But this one right now, it is in retracement. We still see this little wick right here, which means there was some buys. Oh, we're taking a look at further retracement, more retracement. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's leave this one alone. Not going to touch this one just because that continued retracement. This one still looks pretty decent in terms of, what we got going on here. We're going to go ahead and move out, of the 1 hour to the 15 minutes. So we can see that we had buy here, big sell candle, but it bounced back. So we're going to take a look at in the channel, see what we got going on. And let's see here. Do we get a portal? I'm not seeing a portal. So no portal, no portal. Okay, so no portal on this one. I don't see any rating either, so pin message, only one pin message, so yeah, given that there's only one pin message, on this one, that one I'm not crazy about. So, and we've seen this before, where there's nothing going on in terms of trending. There's nothing going on in terms of rating. So what's really pushing this token? Is it just people FOMOing in, which that kind of seems to be the case, because there's nothing that's serving as a catalyst for why people are making a bunch of buys into this token, so in here you can see, block of sells here, a big one, here. I don't really see what's the catalyst to continue to go ahead and move this one, but I'll tell you what, still keep an eye on it just to go ahead and see, what they do from here. But my guess is that this one's going to continue to retrace. So going under, because that's what we want to see, I'm going to say 100K on this one. Posted market cap on this one's going to be this is saying 1595, but that doesn't match up. So we're going to have to go ahead and go with this, which is 148. So 148K, oops, 148K. All right, so there we go. Set the under alert. So with that being said, I think that's probably going to go ahead and do it for me, on this video. So guys, keep in mind, as I've mentioned, in a couple of videos prior to this one, got some traveling going on. We'll be traveling today. But I wanted to get a video out before I got on the road, and I'm going to try to keep up the schedule, as far as recording. Now, I don't know how this is going to go, but I think if I can get up and get this done early enough in the morning, I should be able to still keep up with my daily schedule. But if you don't see a video, I'll try to go ahead and say something, through the community tab, which is why it's so important for you guys to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. So you can get an alert, whenever I post something that needs to be broadcasted to the community. So that I'm not just simply ignoring an upload, for that particular day, but there may have been something that went on that day that prevented me from being able to get a video out, keeping up with this daily schedule. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you are new, again, thank you for joining us in the series, and make sure that you subscribe so you can keep up, with notifications for when new content is released on the channel. With that being said, you guys enjoy your Monday, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.